In a world of challenges and uncertainties, hope shines as a beacon, guiding us through the dark times and showing us the way to brighter days ahead. But what exactly is hope? Where does it come from? And how does it shape our lives? I'm Annie Bennett, and I'd love you to join me on this journey as I explore the meaning of hope. I'll delve into philosophical perspectives, personal stories, and scientific insights to understand the power of this elusive emotion. So whether you're seeking inspiration, comfort, or simply a deeper understanding of the human spirit, let's embark on this exploration together and discover the extraordinary power of hope. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Chronicles of Hope podcast. Oh, I've got a fabulous guest today. Kaddy Thomas is the CEO and founder of the Carers Collective. And I first met Kaddy, it was a while back now, wasn't it? But we have lots and lots of things in common, and her story is quite amazing. So welcome, Kaddy, to the podcast.
Hello, Annie. Thanks for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. So, the Carers Collective, tell us a little bit about that, how you started it and what it's all about.
Oh, now there's a question. So, Carers Collective essentially came about 5 years ago. Um, so just to give you some backstory on that, I am a care manager to my wonderful, adorable son, Elijah Hodges. And basically, when you're managing a team of carers, ordinarily, if I was employed, I would have a line manager, I'd have regular supervision, I would have a personal development plan, I would be sent on all kinds of training. However, when you are a carer, unpaid carer, having to walk in that role, you don't get any external support. So probably about 7, 8 years ago, I kind of came to a point where I was just like, I was managing a team of carers. Elijah's health was really unstable. I had my own health challenges to deal with, and I was just finding it too much. I was too emotionally at that point. I was too emotionally involved with my workforce. I was a very yes manager. Every request that they had, I'd say yes to. And I just got to a point where I thought, I can't do this anymore. I can't, yeah, I was getting too overwhelmed. And I just thought something has to change. So weirdly enough, I thought I need a coach in my life, but I didn't know at that point. So we're talking 7, 8 years ago. At that point, I thought I didn't even know what a coach was or did, but I just knew I needed somebody external that I could go and offload to and talk through things to. So I found a coach. Her name was Tamsin Gary, beautiful woman. So I met with her and said, "This is my situation. I need some coaching. Will you coach me?" She agreed to coach me, um, told me what it would cost. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go back to health and social care and say, you know, I've come to a place where I need a coach. This is how much it's going to cost. Will you pay? Health and social care said, "Oh, we can't possibly pay for something like that." I was a bit like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm care managing full time, more than full time hours. I've recognised that I need a coach. You're saying no. How does that work?" So anyway, knowing what I needed, I went and self-funded a coach. It was an absolute game changer in terms of just having somebody to talk to. I could offload all the things that were going on in Elijah's life, all the things that were doing my head in about the workforce, um, and how that was affecting me, how that was affecting Elijah, how that was affecting them. And it was just amazing, just to be able to through with Tamsin about a problem. And then Tamsin, how I kind of describe a coach is that it's somebody that walks alongside you. You can offload whatever's going on in your life, and then what they do is they resource you with the tools um, to kind of be able to manage, navigate that. The outcome of me being coached is that I'm a more assertive manager. I
Mm.
take no prisoners. More confident in my role. Um, I I utilize the skills and the resources within my team. They all know now that I'm not just going to say yes if they have a particular
Mm.
request. I'm quite confident at being able to praise, but
Mm.
also if I need to pull them up and when they've done something,
Yeah.
praise when they've done something really well, but also be able to uh, communicate, challenge, and confront if there's something that I'm not happy with
Yeah.
in terms of how their work performance, in terms of how they
Mm.
supported Elijah or how they haven't supported Elijah. I won't just take on anybody. In fact, interestingly enough, I've just interviewed a potential candidate. And throughout the interview, I was going, I know you, but
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm very clear about my expectations. So anybody that I do interview, I say these are the if you were to be successful, these are my expectations. You
Mm.
know, you if you're going to want to be a part of the team, then you will have to work some bank holidays, i.e. Christmas and New Year, etc. So the benefit of being coached has just been extraordinary.
Mm.
Just not only from how I now manage my team, but also personally, because
Mm.
obviously, your role as a manager and what's going on in your life personally kind of intertwines. And Tamsin um has been and is a great support in terms of me as a manager, but also me,
Mm.
she's supporting me on a personal level
Mm.
too.
Yeah. Oh, it's just fascinating because, obviously a lot of the people that we are aiming to support are going to be carers. And it's perhaps something that people don't think about, that a carer doesn't just check that the person they're looking after is okay. They have to be perhaps their advocate, and they have to be, making sure that they are getting the best. And that does mean difficult conversations with people that, perhaps healthcare professionals or doctors or, you know, whoever it is. So it's a really interesting way to look at that. And yeah, the skill of saying no, that's not good enough. No, that's not helpful is quite a skill to have, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had two agency nurses on yesterday because somebody, one of my regulars had phoned in sick, and straight away I was like, two agency nurses, both intensive care. That's going to cost about 3 grand for a
Wow.
12 and a half
Mm.
hour shift. It's about £1,400 for each
Yeah.
nurse. So straight away I went into right. You need a list. I'm going to utilize you two today, and I literally gave them a list of things to do,
Mm.
and what's that? Wrote the list down, and then what's that? Both of them, and say right, this is your list that you need to work through. Because I
Yeah.
was just, there's no way I'm having 3 grand worth of workers in my house, and they're just going to sit. Obviously, they obviously looked after Elijah well and would have looked and did
Yeah.
look after Elijah well, but because he'd had a bad night the night before, he wasn't going to demand lots of their attention.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
was like straight away, right, list, this is what needs to be done.
There's no messing with Caddy now, is there?
Absolutely not. No. So as a result of being coached all those years, I thought, well, how many more carers? And this is how I've stopped using. I'm going to digress a little bit. I've stopped using what I found when I'm networking and when I'm in business networking, and you say, "Oh, what do you do? Hello, what's your name? What do you do?
Yeah.
I care for carers." They go. You look at somebody's body language when you
Mm.
even mention the word carer, and they go, "Well, especially in business circles, how is that relevant to me?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So now what I say, and it's interesting because the conversation opens up then. Now
Yeah.
what I say is I support people who have to provide additional support for their loved ones.
Oh, yes. It completely changes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Completely shifts it. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at a sporting club event last Friday, and I sat opposite a lady woman. Um, well, there was a table. There was four of us on this particular
Mm.
table, and that's what I said. And straight away she said, "Yeah, my husband had a heart attack late last year, and it's completely changed his life.
Yeah.
I've got two children on the autism ADHD spectrum." She said, I wouldn't. So if I'd used the word carer, she probably wouldn't have even shared that with me,
No.
because the thing about people who provide additional support for a loved one is a lot of, whilst Carers UK will say there's 5.7 million carers, the reality is
Mm.
that people who do care or do provide additional support for a loved one wouldn't even consider themselves as carer,
No.
especially in a marriage,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, marriage, you know. uh,
Absolutely. Well, my daughters are the same because the Chronicles was set up to support young adults who are
yeah,
looking after a parent, um, which is what my daughters did. But they don't see themselves as carers at all. You
yeah.
know, I mean, they say it as a joke sometimes. Tucking me in intimate, with me blanket and everything. But they don't see themselves as carers. They see themselves as they're there if I need something
Yeah.
or I need to be taken to a hospital visit or need someone there with me or whatever it is. But you are so right, and it's a shame, isn't it, that the word carer has got that sort of reputation now, really, isn't it? It's a word people don't really like to use. Yeah, I completely get it. But you are called the Carers Collective, though, aren't you? So,
Well, it's
um,
not their care. We're not the carers collective. We're a carers collective.
I see, I see. Okay, I stand corrected.
No, 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 no. I think, and it's funny because there is a carers collective in Australia, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So so tell us about how that actually got set up. What was
So,
the sort of
so,
trigger for it?
uh, so, so, having benefited greatly from being coached and it having a real positive impact on my life, I thought, well, how many more carers, or
Yeah,
yeah, how many more carers out there are doing what I do, but
yeah,
without any external support?
yeah.
So I belong, well, I still am a member of Women Mean Biz,
Mm,
which is a local network to where I live.
mm,
And I met a lady called Kerry Seymour, who is a solution-focused hypnotherapist. And how I describe my one-to-one with Kerry is that, when you get at Christmas time, you get gifts wrapped, and you open a box. You open a fairly big box that's been wrapped, and then you open it, and then you look inside and go, "Oh, there's so many more gifts inside this box. Where do I start?"
ah,
So during this one-to-one with Kelly, I was going, oh, I need to tap, because I'm very good at kind of when people tell me their experience and their qualifications and what they're really passionate about. I go, oh, how can I utilize you? So I had some one-to-one solution focused sessions, and then said to Kerry, well, shall we explore doing something together?
mm,
So I guess
mm,
having gone through some solution focused sessions with Kerry, I thought, well, I guess my brain went to, would this benefit carers?
mm, yeah.
So we set up back in the early days, we called it solution focused hypnotherapy coaching program for carers.
Oh goodness, right? Yes.
Bit of a gobful.
Yeah.
Um, and we ran a 6-week program
Uh-huh.
online. So geographically, we could reach anybody
Yeah.
within the UK
Mm,
and overseas for that matter.
mm,
The sessions lasted an hour and a half each week. And what we found was that, and solution focused hypnotherapy essentially is that it doesn't focus on your past, doesn't even really focus in on your present day. What it does is it kind of, it's almost like a mindset shift.
Mm.
We have two parts of our, well, two parts, the primitive part and the intellectual part. So that when we're in the primitive part of our brains, we're like, oh, nothing's going right. Oh, this is it. This is my lot in life. Nothing's going to change. Oh, I'm always, I don't know, negative things always happen to me, or I'm not listened to. When
Yeah.
we're in the intellectual part of our brain, we go, right. It's like, for example, I'll give you a prime example. Woke up, opened the door this morning, opened my bedroom door this morning. I never know what I'm going to be greeted to when
Mm.
I open my bedroom door. But because I knew I had a 9 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, I thought, right, I need to literally go straight into the bathroom, get washed and dressed, and then come out
Yeah.
and see what else is happening. Because I just thought, I can't afford, I thought, yeah. And so that's what I did. Okay, went out of my room, was dressed, came out of my room. Nicola, lover, is coming to work, but he's poorly. So Joe was on. Joe's been like, Joe is has been with me for nine plus years.
Wow.
So Joe does my rota man. Joe is my rota manager. So Joe's been frantically trying to recover the shift so Nikki can go home. But I had a 9 o'clock, so I was kind of like conscientious that I had a sick worker in the home. But then I thought I got a 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's an interview, so I can't go. Sorry, I can't. I'm not deal with. And I kind of just thought, well, Jerry's sorting out recovering the shift, and I said to Nikki, well, just need to sit on the sofa and not move.
Mm. Yeah.
So I could have, I suppose what I'm saying is, so I could have quite easily have gone into, right, need to cancel everything,
Yeah.
deal with
Yeah.
what the current situation as it stands. But I kind of just thought, well, I can't do anything any more than what's already been done. So I've kind
Yeah.
of carried on with my day. That's kind of one example. I think another example is when Elijah was in hospital over just after Christmas. I think it was halfway, it was the beginning of his second admission, second week of it being admitted. I had an email from the ICB
Mm.
basically telling me that when Elijah's in hospital, we understand that Elijah's in hospital, so the carers uh, are going to have to stop going in.
Right.
Right? Now, my initial reaction was anger and who the hell do these people think that they
Yeah.
are? And a lot of vocabulary
I can
words
imagine.
came flying out my mouth. And then I went, how am I going to deal with this? So what I did was I phoned up the ICB and said, I'm a bit confused. And I just got a personal help budget. It's carers for the last 11 years have always gone into hospital with him.
Mm.
He needs his team in hospital with him. They were like, the response I got back was, well, it's our policy says that if any of our patients go into hospital, carers can't go in. So I was like, oh, really? So I went, hmm. So I phoned up, I'm a very resourceful woman.
Yeah.
So I phoned up a good friend of mine who also is a family carer and said to her, Paula, she went, how are you? I said, I'm not, I'm so angry. Told her what would happen. And she said, just hit the back with the Equalities 2010 Act, making reasonable adjustments.
Yeah.
I went, oh, I was driving at the time. I can't remember where I was going at the time, but I was driving somewhere. So I said to Paul, I'm driving at the moment. Can you just WhatsApp me that? So she WhatsApped me. Claude AI is a wonderful thing, I tell
Yeah.
you. Oh,
Oh, we love
Claude
the
AI,
AI.
Claude AI is my best friend. Anyway, so she WhatsApped me. I think I was going to church.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, Paula WhatsApped me. So the next day I was like, right. So I got my phone, looked up the Equalities Act, all right. Went on to Claudia, copied and pasted the email that I got from the ICB,
Yeah.
put it to Claudia, and then said to Claudia, right, I need to respond to this email and we need to mention the Equalities Act
Yeah.
2010. But because I've been using Claudia now for probably well over a year,
Mm.
it's got to know me really
Yes.
well.
Yes. Yeah.
So it pinged me out a beautiful email in response to this email. So I copied and pasted that back into my email, sent that back. The response was incredible.
Really.
So I went from, oh no, well, you can't have carers in, to, oh no, yeah, yeah, carers can go in.
Yes.
I was
Result.
like, wow.
It's incredible, isn't it, that you have to know all that stuff. It should be them that knows it, not you. It's quite incredible, isn't it? But good on you.
Could have quite easily in that situation gone, oh, well, I'm just gonna have to move into
Yeah.
hospital with Elijah, so at least I'm there with him all the time. And then
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not having this. We've had
Yeah.
11 years of Elijah needs
Mm.
his support, his carers and nurses that know him in
Yeah.
hospital with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course he
Um,
does. The fact that he's got, specific needs, but the fact that he, on a personal level, needs people around him that he knows, doesn't he? It's, oh, dearie me.
uh,
Dearie me. So let's think about, this podcast is all about hope. So let's go back to, before you had your coach, and let's think about, your sort of your levels of hope. How did you feel sort of hope wise? Did you think, oh, this is completely hopeless? I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. How did that work when you got your coach?
so I love the word hope, and in fact,
Mm.
my CIC is called Elijah's Hope CIC. So when I set up the CIC company back in August 2013, oh my word, I was going through a horrendous deal with social care. They wanted to remove Elijah from my care because I'd made a decision. They deemed it that that I neglected Elijah, so they wanted to, instead of sitting down and talking to me and saying, "Caddy, why did you make the decision? How can we support you to make better decisions
Yeah.
in moving forward?" And only it also, they didn't. They just thought, right, we're going to wipe the floor with Caddy. We're going to take her to court. We're going to try and remove Elijah from her care. I know. So
Oh my
I was
goodness.
like, how many more carers or how many more people out there, families get penalized because they're strong, articulate, and
Mm,
they fight and advocate for their loved ones?
mm,
It's like I need to set up something so that I can support families who are going through the same
yeah.
or similar situations. So I knew that I wanted Elijah's name to be part of the CIC. And then I was like, hope. For me, hope is so powerful
Mm,
because you can either be buried by circumstances or you can go, you know what? That was horrific. That was horrible. I need counseling or I need some therapy. I need to be able to process that traumatic experience. But within that, I've got a hope. I've got a hope for that I'm going to get over this. I
yeah.
want to hope for that I'm going to overcome this. I want
Yeah.
to hope that I'm not going to allow what's happened to me to affect me where I want to go. So that's why I set up Elijah's Hope. When Elijah became brain injured in October 2007, I could have quite easily gone, oh, well, that's it. He's
Oh,
brain injured. He's not gonna, it's not gonna. Things. This is my lot in life. I went through 3 months of emotional trauma. We originally come
mm,
from Birmingham, so we were living in Birmingham at the time. And I remember on the 31st of December 2007 going, I would not want to relive the last 3 months. It's been an
mm,
emotional roller coaster. I'm not just accepting this
mm,
situation. I'm not accepting it. And I remember speaking to Elijah's neurosurgeon, Mr. Solanke, on the 31st of December, going, it's the new year. I've got to fix my boy. I've got to
mm.
move into 2008 with the hope that my boy, with the
Yeah.
hope that my boy is going to I'm going to be able to fix him, or I'm going to be able to rehabilitate him as much as he is, as
Yeah.
much as is possible.
Yeah.
And so I had an old Dell reconditioned laptop, which served me well.
Mm,
I fired off emails, there
mm,
was numerous complaints that I needed to make to Birmingham Children's Hospital. But what it also enabled me to do is research all the research
Mm,
places that Elijah could potentially go to
mm,
get rehabilitated. And I think as a result of me having that mentality of vision, hope, desire, motivation, I think there's probably families out there when I think about it who just go, oh, yeah, that's it. That's my lot in life.
mm,
But I was like, no, I'm not having it.
mm.
He is the young man that he is today, but he's still alive because I didn't kind of go, right, that's my lot in life.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and even the prognosis that he's had over the years, like he shouldn't really be alive now
Wow.
because 10 years ago I was told, oh, only going to live, his life expectancy is 2.5 to 5 years. Well, he's outlived that.
Wow.
So I
Fantastic.
was like, I'm not accepting, the current situation. I'm going to do as much as physically possible to give him the opportunity and the resources to help him recover.
Yeah. Fantastic. I mean, you're such an example. There's been a thread through the podcasts when we talk about hope, about people saying that, hope isn't just sitting there and wishing something. Hope is actually taking the action and
Yes.
putting things in place and being proactive. You can't have hope without action, can you? And you're such a brilliant example of that. You've kicked ass, Caddy.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Oh my goodness me, look at the time. We're coming to the end. But tell us sort of what the future holds for you and Carers Collective and Elijah's Hope.
So I want to be the go-to charity
Mm,
when it comes to carers. I've just joined what's it called? Chat for a Copper for a Chat,
mm,
um, which is a Carers UK
mm.
community. And it's quite interesting actually being part of that community because Carers UK are really well connected with the government. So
Yeah.
I want to be a trailblazer. Ooh,
Trailblazer. We love that.
of hope for carers, for any carer out there that needs support. I've just launched a community called Coffee Cake and Collaborate. It's launched on the 27th of January, and it's an in-person community, and it's in Caerphilly. When I say that, people go, Caerphilly, but you don't live in Wales. Yeah, that whole kind of idea of building a in-person community came about as a result of having a coffee with a friend of mine who lives in Caerphilly. We go to the same
Okay.
church. So I thought, well, let's start
Got to
uh,
start somewhere, haven't you? Yeah,
an
absolutely.
in-person community in Caerphilly. I'm also launching an online community, which I launched 3 weeks ago. I'm kind of doing lives at the moment with regards to that, to
Wonderful.
kind of build momentum. I am building and collaborating with media
Yes.
through Impact the Mastermind. I've been with
Yes.
that two
With our
years.
lovely friend Nicola Rowley.
Probably gonna extend. Well, I've already said to Nicola I want to extend for a further year. Well, I want to get into government in
Mm,
terms of influencing policy. I
mm,
also want to get into the local authority and health organisations because I think a lot of commissioners make decisions. Well, they do. They make decisions about families, but then have no clue as to
mm,
what goes on in our lives
mm.
on a day-to-day basis. I want to be able to collaborate with different organisations such as Chronicles of Hope
Yes.
and other organisations out there that are supporting families with a whole host of different needs. This year, I've also come into this year going, Carers Collective needs funding.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the sporting club and I've only been part of the sporting club since October of last year. And Ian Stafford, the CEO and chairman and founder of the sporting club, um, I had a meeting with him in December and said, right, what I'm a registered charity, what can you do for me? And he said, well, I'll give you a 7-minute speaking slot at our
Fantastic.
next luncheon, which happened on the 28th of January. He pledged in December when I had my one-to-one with him, £250. After hearing my story and the work of Carers Collective, he doubles that.
Wow. So you're going for world domination, really, Caddy.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And what we'll do is put everything that you've mentioned in the show notes. So give me the links afterwards and we'll make sure everything goes in the show notes. So if there's anyone, if anyone's listening and you're near Caerphilly or you can access online things, just, we'll put everything in the show notes. And there's also something, isn't there, happening in April that I'm actually involved in as well. It's about that.
Yes. Carers Collective, Caddy's coffee and cake concert.
That's it.
It's happening at Lauderdale.
It's a very swanky venue, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Lauderdale. In fact, I was talking to somebody, I was thinking I was talking to Julie after our hot seat, and I kind of went into this Cockney rhyme, and she went, Caddy, it's more like Bridgerton.
Yes, it was terribly nice.
Okay. So it's Carers Collective, Caddy's coffee and cake concert. It is on Sunday, the 26th of April of this year. Starts at 3:30, and it is at Lauderdale House, Waterloo Park, Highgate Hill, London.
Excellent. We will put all the details in the show notes, and I should be singing. And am I right thinking that you are singing as well? Is that right?
Well, I have a meeting with Julie.
You must. That would be just so lovely. I mean, Julie Bale is our wonderful friend and colleague who organises the concerts and teaches us how to sing. It's just brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, that's just fabulous. Yeah, we'll put all of that in the show notes. And if you're listening and you're anywhere near Lauderdale House, or can get to it on April the 26th, wasn't it?
26th, yes.
Then please do support us and support Caddy's charity. Fantastic. We need to finish now, which is a shame because I could talk to you for hours. But I always ask my guests if they have a message of hope for my listeners.
I think my message of hope is that we all get knocked down throughout our lives. We all get knocked down. I think for me, hope is you have to get back up.
Yeah.
You have to get back up. You have to shake or dust yourself off and then go, right, I'm going to hope that I'm not going to allow this situation to impact where I'm going to.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? And it's hope. Hope is action again, isn't it? You can't just sit and expect things to happen without being positive. And things do get better, don't they? They absolutely do. Yeah. Oh, Caddy, it's been so lovely talking to you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you for listening to the Chronicles of Hope podcast with me, Annie Bennett. I hope you found inspiration, comfort, or perhaps even a newfound perspective around the meaning of hope. To find out more about the aims of the Chronicles of Hope organisation, please visit thechroniclesofhope.org, where you will find links to our social media accounts and where you will be able to make a much needed and appreciated donation. Thank you.